How do you get to that other speed? Is that when you got to go back and start looking at what God has done for you in the past, and you begin to start telling yourself that God has done this thing before. He showed me something before. I had a time in my life where it looked like it wasn't going to happen, but just when it looked like it wasn't going to happen, God made a way for me. When it looked like I wasn't going to get through, God brought me through. I got a testimony. God did it before, and he's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. If God brought me back this far, I'm not gonna give up right now. Look at somebody and said, I've been through too much to be a quitter. Look at somebody and said, you've been through too much. Come on, tell them you've been through too much. Said, don't you remember when it looked like you wasn't gonna make it? Don't you remember when you was about to lose your mind? When things were rough before, you made it through this. Look at somebody and say, God is faithful. Come on, say God is faithful. Say it, say God is faithful. When it looks like God ain't gonna do it, I heard the Bible say, what shall we then say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Somebody said press through. Come on, push and say push on through. I got to preach. If I could preach a few more minutes, I would tell somebody you got to crush your ice. Sometimes when it becomes a block, you got to crush it. Look at somebody and said there's a time in all of our lives when we got to face what makes us afraid, and when you start facing it, you gotta make up your mind that I'm gonna crush it. Look at somebody and say, rise up and crush your block. Rise up, and what it is that's telling you you ain't gonna be able to do it, pick your foot up and crush it. I dare somebody in here to look at your situation and say, I'm going to crush it. The Bible says shortly the Lord is going to crush, he's going to bruise Satan under your feet in just a little while. Touch somebody and say, in just a little while you going to crush it. The Bible said, be not weary and well do it in due season. In due season. Touch somebody and say, you got a season coming. If you faint not, you got a season coming. If you don't give up, rise up and crush it. I wish I had another minute, Jack. I was reading. I went online because I want to understand what was so special about these men. All of a sudden, when they decided that they wouldn't give up, that's when their creativity start coming in their spirit. You see, some of us hadn't got to that last level that's in you yet, because you can't get there until you push through. Look at somebody and say, you got to push through. That's when the rest of the creativity will come to you. You see, if you give up, you'll never get there. But if you push through, something will start stirring up in you. Another way would start creating in you. Wow, I'm talking to somebody right now. I feel like talking like Bishop Jakes. Who am I preaching to? That God says there's something else that's ready to kick in you. I'm finished. Listen.